This is 2021's O-level topic. A happy person is a healthy person. How far would you agree with this statement? After the exam, a number of students asked me, a happy person is a healthy person. Does it mean that a happy person leads to a healthy person? Or can I argue that a healthy person leads to a happy person? So, after some thought, I explained to them that let's imagine that this is a maths equation, and if I argue that A is B, then isn't it very clear that B must be A? So it does not matter to me which argument I take, as long as I can provide a very clear cause and effect relationship. The first thing I did was to do some research because I feel that this is a topic that requires some evidence of science and to provide the best approach and advice for my students, I feel that it is best to get some kind of scientific evidence. When I Googled happiness leads to health, I came across this huge body of research about positive psychology which is ongoing in these contemporary times because people are quite interested to see what leads to happiness. And two main websites that I chanced upon, right at the top of my Google search, are these two websites by Healthline and the Northwestern Medicine, which I feel provide adequate scientific evidence. Now I am at the website of Healthline, and it says how being happy makes you healthier with a number of evidence-based research. Okay, so they have quite a number of points. Being happy promotes a range of lifestyle habits that are important to overall health. And they say that happy people tend to eat healthier diets, taking in more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains with their study. Then they also say that in the same study of 7,000 adults, researchers found that individuals with a positive well-being were 33% more likely to be physically active. So this activity helps build strong bones, increase energy levels, decrease body fat, lower blood pressure. And of course, the third reason is what's more, being happier can improve sleep habits and practices. And there is a whole host of benefits. After all the research that I've done, I feel that I'm in a better position to tackle this topic. Okay, so I started with my introduction in this way. In recent times, psychologists have been intrigued by the connection between one's happiness and health. Indeed, longitudinal and experimental research suggests that there is a relationship between the two. Most research suggests that the connection between happiness and health is bidirectional. This means that greater well-being leads to better physical health, and better physical health leads to greater well-being. Now remember that just now when I did my research, I probed to understand how does happiness leads to health, right? But I feel that it is easier for me to argue that health leads to happiness. Okay, so this is the approach I'm going to take for my first 2 points. The first reason that I have is that healthy people adopt good habits beneficial to their mind and body. The good habits refer to the exercise routine as well as having a nutritious diet. So if we do that, then it will boost our overall health, strengthen immune system, strengthen our bones, and strengthen our muscles. Okay, so this will cause two main effects. One is that people can attain their ideal physique, meaning that they look fit, they look healthy, they look rosy, and they feel attractive. This causes them to have high self-esteem, and therefore it leads to happiness. Okay, so that is effect number one. And effect number two is that if a person is healthy, then he can have a good quality of life because he's able to pursue fulfilling activities. For example, you can do gardening, you can volunteer your time with people who need help, and these activities have been proven to increase one's happiness. Let's move on to reason number two. Just now for point one, I talked about physical health. So now I'm going to move on to mental health. Okay, so the reason is that people with good mental health feel calm, content, peace, hope, acceptance of themselves, and they feel valued by the people who matter to them. Therefore, they approach life with positivity and they're able to tackle challenges with aplomb, meaning very calm and tackle them with equanimity. Thus, they're able to solve problems that seem insurmountable, and once they've done that, they feel joy, or you can use a synonym which is jubilation, depending on the degree of happiness. Right, so what I've done is to give two reasons as to why health leads to happiness. And now I'm coming to my third body paragraph. So I go back to my question, right, where it says a happy person is a healthy person. And I'm also going to argue in this case that a happy person need not only be a healthy person, but a happy person could also be a person with many friends. Okay, or I could argue that a happy person is also a rich person. Or you can also argue that a happy person is a person who makes a difference to other people's lives. For my third body paragraph, I am going to use the balance view approach and argue that while a happy person does tend to be healthy, right? Health is not the only cause of happiness because happiness depends on a myriad of factors, the more common ones being social connections, the feeling of being valued, and a sense of purpose. In my earlier slide, I did some research by reading a book called The Happiness Advantage, written by Sean Eckhart, a psychologist, who highlighted a large body of research, right, that shows that a person with a wide circle of friends is able to experience much happiness. And just drawing from your personal experience, it is something very logical, isn't it? That if you spend time with your friends, going to the cinema to watch a movie or to have meals, you will feel much happiness, um, sharing jokes, sharing anecdotes, and just catching up with the person's life and recent happenings. So most of the time when you see friends together, they're often laughing and having much fun. Okay, so I will spend some time developing these three factors, maybe about a sentence each. And finally, I will come to my conclusion. Since the field of positive psychology is relatively new, scientists are still exploring the factors that contribute to happiness. So my final thought is that it will be exciting to find out the more pertinent factors so that we will lead a satisfying and fulfilling life.